Hello everyone. This is the last video related to calculus. And in this video over here زي ما انتوا يا جماعة عارفين أنا بصراحة لما بعمل الفيديوز دي بحب على قد ما أقدر إن أنا أقول لكم everything related to the topic يعني. So this is the last part of calculus, which is part number 5. And in this part, we're going to discuss 2 questions in total. اللي هو how do I know that this question is related to differentiation if the question doesn't say find dy by dx. تمام. How do I know that؟ لأنه هي دي المشكلة اللي بتحصل، إنه طول ما السؤال بيقول find dy by dx then the students are good to go. طيب what if the question doesn't say, and how do I know that this is a question related to differentiation if the question doesn't say find dy by dx? This page is going to be a summary for all the keywords that you might see اللي هي ممكن تقول لي إنه this is a differentiation question. So how do I know that this is a differentiation question? تمام. If the question doesn't say find dy by dx, يعني if it is not written, what are the keywords that might help me in this part over here? Now, the first keyword, or the first set of keywords that we are going to discuss are these: minimum, maximum, تمام, stationary point, turning point, تمام. vertex مش بتيجي كتير بس I'll just include it يعني in the list. اوكي. وطبعا يا جماعة عايزة بس أقول حاجة معلش نسيت أقولها، إنه any question related to differentiation, the question has to be an algebraic question. And what do I mean by an algebraic question? يعني I will mainly be given an equation of y equals, or يعني whatever other letter, but there has to be a letter subject, and the equation is an algebraical equation. تمام كده? Now, the first set of keywords that will help you figure out that this is a differentiation question are these. And whenever you look at these keywords, then please remember that here, always and forever, your differentiation is equal to 0. And we discussed already this part, these types of questions in part 1, in part number 1. طبعا dy by dx, find x and then find y by substituting in the original equation. As we said, it could be one value of x, could be two values of x, whatever. And for this type of question, we are going to solve this question over here in the past papers. This is June 2021 2H. This is June 2021 2H, question number 21. June 2021 2H, question number 21. So let's look at this question over here and let's see what does this question say. هنا بيقول لي the point A is the only stationary point on the curve with equation cusp. طيب, let's see the conditions. Now, this is an algebraic equation أهو, as you can see. And in this algebra equation, قلنا y is subject. Stationary point, قلنا this is one of the key words that we just wrote. Whenever you read the word stationary, minimum, maximum difference, any of these words, immediately differentiation equals to 0, find x and find y, and we'll see how the question goes. طيب, مش لازم أكمل قراية، لأنه أحيانا لما بنكمل قراية بنتوتر. فأنا دلوقتي خلاص لقطت إن دي مسألة differentiation. فأنا هنا step number 1 بالنسبة لي is definitely going to be differentiation. So let's take my equation over here اللي هي y equals k x power 2 plus 16 over x. Now, as you can see, this is question number 21. The question يعني ما هواش piece of cake قوي يعني. Okay, now let's look at this equation over here and see what are the annoying parts. أول حاجة k دي. هنا قال لي k is a constant. And I told you يا جماعة so many times before, أي مسألة يبقى فيها حاجة weird, it doesn't mean إن أنا هحلها بطريقة مختلفة. The method of solving is the same, even if I have weird things. the method of solving is the same, even if I have weird things. Like this. X دي is a weird thing. هو قال لي the X is a constant. Now, the word constant means that your X is a number. فما عنديش مشكلة. طبعا احنا we already discussed what is this case over here. If the X is a denominator, قلنا دي هشلوت طلعها فوق. فهطلعها فوق دلوقتي. بالمرة يعني. ف when I move it up, and this was discussed in I think video part 3, هطلعها فوق. فلما هتطلع فوق هتبقى to the power of -1. And then how do I differentiate؟ بنفس الطريقة بالظبط يا جماعة without any changes. طب يا مس والكي عادي. Pretend it's a number. Pretend it's a number. وزي ما بقول لكم يا جماعة the method of solving doesn't change. So your differentiation is dy by dx. ودايما يا جماعة عشان الناس اللي بتحب تفهم اللي بيتكتب فوق هنا بيبقى difference of the letter that is subject. واللي بيتكتب تحت هنا difference of the letter that is here in the equation. وتاني بأكد the only letter that I have in this equation is x. k is a number and I just don't know it yet. طب يا miss how will I differentiate؟ هنزل أضرب -1. لو الباور مش 1 هنزل أضرب -1. So 2 times k is 2k. x to the power of 1 لأن 2 minus 1 is 1. وبعد كده هاخد دي هنزل أضرب -1. -1 times 16 is -16. x to the power of -2. أهو. This is your differentiation. طيب نكمل. بصوا أنا لسه ما كملتش ها؟ ما كملتش. طيب differentiation equals 0. يبقى أنا هنا هعمل إيه بعد كده؟ sorry لأن هو here the question says stationary point. So differentiation is equal to 0. طب يا miss what will we do next؟ هنشوف دلوقتي. لأن أنا هنا بقى دلوقتي عندي 2 unknowns. أوكي. طيب فخلينا let's fix this to the end وأجيب آخرها. فدي هتبقى هنا 2kx minus 16 over x power 2 equals to كام؟ 0. لأن ده اللي احنا قلناه. وده اللي احنا قلناه بس هي بس المشكلة إن أنا طالع لي هنا حاجة في النص دي اللي هي مين؟ الk. فأنا هنا I will not be immediately able to find the value of x. فهنشوف طيب هنتصرف إزاي. طبعا هنا بقى بيقول لي إيه بعد كده؟ فأنا طبعا زي ما احنا عارفين إنه اللي مش عاجبك اضربه. فأنا I can multiply this equation by x squared just to reach the simplest form واشوف بعد كده هنتصرف ازاي. فدي هتبقى هنا عندي 2k x power 3 تمام minus 16 equals to 0. برضه زي ما بقول لكم يا جماعه زي ما انتم شايفين the method of solving did not change. ودلوقتي I can simplify even more. I can divide by 2 في الايكويشن دي كلها. فهيبقى عندي kx power 3 minus 8 is equal to 0. So kx power 3 is equal to 8. وصلنا هنا كده. نشوف بقى بعد كده هنكمل ازاي. يعني ده البارت اللي احنا كملناه ده كل ده من الحته دي بس. طب يا مس وبعدين هنشوف هنتصرف ازاي. هنشوف هنتصرف ازاي. طيب هنا بقى بيقول لي ايه؟ ركزوا بقى. بيقول لي given that the coordinates of this point is 2 and 3 على A. تمام؟ يعني ايه بقى دلوقتي؟ طيب يعني هو بيقول لي انا عندي كيرف ايا كان شكل الكيرف ده. I have a curve. اوكي طبعا الكيرف ده شكله يعني ما اعرفش بس هنشوف. هو مش طالع ونازل يعني بس بحاول ارسم انهي كيرف. طيب anyways there is a curve. جميل. والكيرف ده عليه بوينت اسمها بوينت A. ايه معلوماتي عن بوينت A دي؟ معلوماتي عن بوينت A انه الاكس بتاعتها 2 على 3 والواي بتاعتها is represented by the letter A. هو عايز the value of A. يعني عايز the y coordinate. And if you remember according to what we said انه you differentiate equals 0, you find x, and then you find the y by substitution in the original equation. طيب ما أنا I do have the x already أهي. طيب فأنا can I substitute it in the original equation? Definitely I can. بس المشكلة إن أنا if I substitute it in the original equation هيبقى عندي ال k دي هتصرف فيها إزاي؟ يبقى أنا I have to figure out how to find the value of k. How do I find the value of k? طيب the examiner said that this point has an x of 2 over 3. So if I take the x coordinate and I substitute over here, I will be able to find the value of k. And then I will substitute both the k and the x in this equation over here. فأنا دلوقتي يا جماعة, what was the purpose of my differentiation? The purpose of my differentiation is to reach to this equation over here. And by making k subject, اللي هي هتبقى 8 over x power 3, and then by replacing the x with the value that I am given in the question over here, هقدر أطلع the value of k. فتعالوا نحسبها. أهو 8 divided by 2 over 3 power 3. فالk طلعت لي ب 27. Now, since I have the value of k and since I have the value of x, I can proceed to step number 6, which is finding the y coordinate. And how will I find the y coordinate? قلنا we substitute in the original equation اللي هي y equals kx power 2 plus 16 على x. هنا بقى I will substitute k اللي أنا طلعتها والx اللي موجودة. تمام؟ plus 16 over 2 على 3. And then I will just do the math. 27 multiplied by 2 over 3 power 2 plus, تمام, 16 divided 2 على 3. And then I will get the value of y. This is my final answer over here. Y is equal to 36. So as you can see, زي ما بقول لكم يا حبايبي, the method of solving did not change. It's just an annoying question. So let's summarize again what happened over here. قلنا هو قال لي the point A is the only stationary point on this curve over here. طبعا stationary point قلنا يعني differentiation equals 0, find x, find y. أول حاجة عملتها طلعت ال x دي فوق لأن قلنا one of the conditions of differentiation is that you have to make sure that there is no x in the denominator. So I sent it up in step number 1, as you can see. And then I differentiated normally in step number 2, ignoring the fact that this k does not exist. تمام كده؟ فأنزل أضرب -1. ليه عملت differentiation equals to 0? Because it says turning point. عملت نفس الستبس اللي احنا عملناها بالظبط والكي سبتها موجودة ولا كأنها مزعلاني في حاجة. نزلتها تحت تاني, and we discussed this in video part 3 I guess. تمام, نزلتها تحت تاني, اللي مش عاجبك اضربه. I simplified and then I've reached to this simplest form over here. لما جيت نزلت بعد كده لقيت ان انا I am given the x coordinate. Now this x coordinate that is given, it has two purposes. The first purpose was substituting over here to get the value of k, أو مش to get the substituting over here to get the value of k اللي هنا ده اللي عملناها, and then substituting in the original equation to find the value of y. وبعد كده طلعنا بقى هنا to get the y's, عملنا substitution للk والx. the purpose of stationary point is to find the value of k to be able to substitute in the original to find the y. تمام? So this was the on June 2021 2H. نكتبه حتى هنا فوقها دي هنا. This an example related to this part is June 2021 2H question 21 تقريبا كان. طيب let's look بقى at the other set of keywords. The other set of keywords are, يقول طبعا برضو زي ما اتفقنا يا جماعة, their equations are always algebraic. يقول لي ايه? Gradient of curve. أو يقول لي gradient of tangent on curve. Gradient of tangent on curve. These are keywords that are very, very important. هنا بقى you immediately find dy by dx and then you proceed from there. هنشوف بقى ساعتها بعد كده. فلما يقول لي find gradient of curve أو يقول لي find gradient of tangent, تمام كده؟ فساعتها I find dy by dx and then I proceed from there. ونشوف بقى ازاي يا جماعة. لما خليني بس اوريها لكم, I think هنا لسه موجودة, اللي هي بعد ما بطلع dy by dx. فين كنت كاتباها فين؟ After I find dy by dx قلنا we have الكيسز بتاعتنا اهو. after I find ux بعمل يا substitute يا equate equal 0 يا كذا يا كذا على حسب. تمام. يبقى احنا دلوقتي هنا the second set of keywords اللي هو find the gradient of the curve أو find the gradient of the tangent. Now I already prepared one question related to this part over here, which is Jan 2023 1HR question 23. خليني اكتبها برضو هنا Jan 2023. نكتبها هنا example Jan 2023 1HR question 23. Question number 23. Let's look at this question together and see how do I solve this question over here and what is the approach. How do I approach this question? تمام. بيقول لي هنا ايه؟ G is a point on a curve with the equation كذا. طبعا هنا as you can see this is a quadratic equation and this quadratic equation is a U-shape open up and this is discussed by so many times before because the x power 2 is positive. تمام. طيب where the gradient is 10. Now this is a keyword. أولا أنا دي algebraic equation وزي ما اتفقنا يا جماعة to be able to know that this is a differentiation it has to be algebraic. Gradient is 10. Gradient is 10. This is a very, very important keyword. Gradient of curve يعني dy by dx is يعني equal 10 أهو. يبقى دي مسألة differentiation. تمام كده؟ y from the keyword gradient is 10. يبقى أنا step number 1 بالنسبة لي immediately is going to be gradient equals 10. لأن احنا يا جماعة قلنا we find dy by dx and then we see بقى how does the question go. فأنا هنا I will differentiate الأول. I will find dy by dx. طبعا بنفس الطريقة بتاعتنا أنزل أضرب minus 1 and so on. I have the differentiation now. Equals to 10. This is the key sentence of differentiation. طبعا logic says إن أنا أكمل بقى بعد كده. I can find x and I can find خدوا بالكم لما احنا بنتكلم على point g ها تمام. I can find x. طبعا خدوا بالكم بس عايزة أكد على حاجة إنه gradient is 10 meaning the point G is he somewhere. خليني أرسم الرسمة دي تحت لأن أنا بيفرق معايا قوي الفهم في الحاجات دي بصراحة. Point G is here somewhere. Why is it on this side of the curve? Because هو بيقول لي إنه there is معلش بس it's not responding. let's just give it a couple of seconds كده. هنج هو اللي هو ارقميني بقى خلاص كالكولس زهقت. اوكي خلاص I'm back. why did I select point G to be here? لأنه as we said if I draw a tangent at this part of the curve it will be a tangent going up so the gradient is positive so this makes sense. So this is point G. اللي أنا بقوله بقى إن أنا if I want to find the coordinates of point G I can do that عادي. How will I get the x of point G from here from the differentiation? طبعا هنا بقى I will solve it عادي جدا وادي دي هناك مع السلامة. So 16x equals 10 plus 14 which is 24 and then to find the value of x 24 over 16 طبعا هنا بقى I get the simplest form 24 divide 16 هتطلع 3 على 2 ويا ريت زي ما بقول بلاش الحب والغرام مع الديسيمالز change to decimal change to decimal يعني استنوا شوية اهو. طيب do I find the y coordinate؟ هنشوف. Let's see. عايزين تجيبوها في الامتحان من باب الاحتياط مفيش مشكلة. Let's find it. مش هنخسر حاجة. أنا ماشية معاكم للآخر أهو. let me find let me find the y coordinate of point G. طبعا I substitute in the original. فهنقول 8 times 3 على 2 power 2 minus 14 times 3 على 2 minus 6. ده if I want to find the complete order pair of point G. So 8 times 3 على 2 squared minus 14 times 3 على 2 minus 6. طلعت negative 9 اهو. فدلوقتي خلصنا من قصة جي. ركزوا بقى في الباقي. والميزة بقى او مش الميزة يعني حرام هو المشكلة ان هو بيعمل ايه؟ بيدخل الدروس في بعض. بيقول لي هنا ايه بقى؟ The straight line Q passes through point G. تمام. So there is another line that is that pass the straight line Q يعني اللاين اسمه Q passes through point G يعني point G belongs to the line and it's perpendicular to the tangent. perpendicular طبعا يعني it's 90 degrees as you can see. أهو. يبقى هنا there is a line. This line is called Q. It is perpendicular on the tangent. تمام؟ بيقال لي إيه بقى؟ Find the equation of the line. Find the equation of the line. طيب, how do I find the equation of the line? Now, هندخل بقى coordinate geometry. Coordinate geometry is explained in full details. I am required to find the equation of line Q. Now, if you remember, to find the equation of a line, we need a gradient. We need a point that lies on the line. We need a gradient, and we need a point that lies on the line. Now, since the line is already intersecting with the tangent at point G, I'm allowed to use my point G in my equation. فكان صح ان احنا حسبنا point G كلها على بعضها. So the point is 3 على 2 و negative 9. اهو. طيب, what is the gradient of this red line? I know that the gradient of the tangent is 10. And it is given in the question. I know that the gradient of the tangent is 10, and it is given in the question. Since the red is perpendicular, يبقى the gradient, if you remember, شقلب وقلب. يعني flip the gradient, change sign. So the gradient of the red is negative 1 over 10. That's the gradient of the red. تمام كده? Find the equation of line Q and give it in the form of ax plus by plus c equals to 0, where a, b, and c are integers. وزي ما قلنا يا جماعة هنا دخل لي coordinate geometry مع ايه؟ مع ال differentiation. فأنا الباقي مش هقوله بالتفاصيل قوي لأنه already في عندي videos لل coordinate geometry. Just one thing that I want to say إنه there is another word other than perpendicular, بس دي بيستعملوها قوي في الفيزيكس, اللي هي كلمة normal. تمام؟ يجي يقول لي مثلا line Q is a normal line to the tangent. Normal يعني perpendicular. بس احنا عندنا بيستعملوا دايما perpendicular. بس if you ever face this word over here, هي normal, it means ايه؟ It is perpendicular. Now, حسب بقى ما أنا بشرح كنت في coordinate geometry, to write an equation of a line في الفورمة دي أنا بستعمل دي اللي هي y minus y1 equals m open bracket x minus a x1. تمام? And then if you remember, these are the letters that I replace by numbers. تمام كده؟ فهشيل الواي الأولانية هتفضل زي ما هي. Let me just select the pen. فهتبقى y minus, طبعا y1 is negative 9 equals the gradient, which is negative 1 على 10. x remains as it is. x1 اللي هي 3 على 2 minus 3 على 2. طبعا أنا كنت بحل بكذا طريقة, يعني حليت بكذا طريقة, فخلاص بقى يعني step 5 and onwards كل واحد بقى على حسب هو عايز يكملها ازاي. y minus minus 9, طبعا this changes into y plus 9 equals expand. Negative 1 times x على 10 is negative 1 over 10x. وبعدين negative 1 times negative 3 على 2 is positive 3 على 2. Okay? Again, no decimals. بالنسبة لي, no decimals please. طبعا هنا بقى بيقول لي إيه? Give your answer in the form ax plus by plus c, where a, b, and c are integers. يعني أنا هنا I will have to do some sort of rearranging. I will move them all to this side over here, which in step number 6. هجيب بس الإكس الأول عشان هو عايز الإكس الأول. فهتبقى 1 over 10x. تمام كده؟ وبعد كده plus y. وبعدين plus 9. وال3 على 2 هتروح بالماينس. Equals to كام؟ Equals to 0. طبعا I will combine these two numbers together. I will combine these together. So 9 minus 3 على 2, which is 15 على 2. So step 7, let me just pick the pen again. Step 7 is 1 على 10x plus y plus 15 على 2 plus 15 over 2 equals to 0. Now, as you can see, يا جماعة, the examiner doesn't want any sort of fractions because here it says integers. فأنا هنا هنعمل اللي مش عاجبك اضربه. طب أنا مش عاجبني حاجتين. مش عاجبني ال 10 ومش عاجبني ال 2 فممكن نعملها one step at a time. يعني I can multiply the whole thing by 10 first. تمام. ف 10 times 1 على 10x يعني انا يعني ايه زي ما بقول لكم زي ما انتم شايفين انا هنا عندي two denominators ف I can start one denominator at a time or I can multiply by the LCM immediately. I can multiply by the LCM immediately بس انا بحب اعملها يعني اللي هو ايه يعني طريقة أبسط يعني عشان مش كله هيلقط إنه you can multiply by the LCM. So 10 times 1 على x هتبقى x. 10 times y is 10y. 10 times 15 على 2 هنعملها بالكالكوليتر. 10 times 15 over 2 is 75. تمام. So I think أنا هنا حاسبة حاجة مش مظبوطة. Okay, let's just see. Negative 1 على 10 لا I think إحنا هنا تمام. 9 minus 3 على 2 9 minus 1.5 okay. And then what do I do next? I multiply by 2. I multiply by 2. تمام كده؟ Okay, I just figured out that I did something wrong with the calculation over here. معلش يا جماعة بس عشان ده خامس فيديو أعمله فيمكن علشان كده. تمام. Okay, something was wrong with this calculation. Okay, so as we said, let me just redo the steps 5 and onwards. Okay, but as we said, أنا هنا I'm just going to redo as we said steps 5 and forward. So as we said, the line is perpendicular. طبعا هنا بقى in step number 5, I simplify y minus 9 is plus 9 and then I times. Negative 1 على negative 1 over 10 times x is negative 1 over 10x. Negative, this was the incorrect multiplication, معلش, my bad. Okay, so negative 1 over 10 multiplied by negative 3 على 2, negative 1 over 10 multiplied by negative 3 over 2 is 3 على 20. So sorry يا ولاد. 3 على 20 معلش عشان بس يمكن قلت لكم ده خامس فيديو. That was the error. Okay, I was right. أنا حسيت كده إن في حاجة مش مظبوطة. So that was the error that I did previously. Sorry for that. Now I will rearrange as we said all. هودي دي هنا وأودي دي هنا. فهتبقى 1 على 10x plus y plus 9 minus 3 over 20 equals to 0. I will combine the numbers together. 1 over 10x plus y 9 minus 3 على 2 which is هتطلع لي 177 over 20 equals to 0. And again, since the question here says that I don't want any fractions, and since it says here integers, now as we said, اللي مش عاجبك اضربه. أنا هنا في حاجتين مش عاجبني ال 10 وال 20. طيب, as we said, you either multiply by the LCM or you do it one step at a time. فأنا مثلا I will multiply initially by 10. Okay, ف 10 times 1 على 10x is x. 10 times y is 10y. 10 times the fraction هيطلع لي 177 over 2 equals to 0. And then I multiply again by 2. Multiply again by 2 to eliminate this 2 over here, reaching to the final answer. 2 times x is 2x. 2 times 10y is 20y. 2 times 177 على 2 is 177. And of course, 2 times 0 is 0. تمام? This example over here, and I'm sorry about the error that happened with the calculations هنا. This question over here was just to show you that this is a differentiation question, although it doesn't say find dy by dx. Now moving on to the whiteboard. So if you wish to take a picture of it or whatever. أنا هنا مش هحل عليها بس I'm just going to summarize for you the third set of keywords that you might get اللي هي قلنا the algebraic questions related to distance, and then differentiated you get speed, and then differentiated you get acceleration, and we discussed already this question in I think part number 4. So yeah حبايبي, this is I think everything that you need to know about differentiation. طبعا if you wish to practice in my classifieds, You have classifieds, parts 1 and 3. You will find plenty of questions related to differentiation with different ideas. And of course, you can relate to the past papers. Thank you all for listening, and I hope that these videos were useful to you related to calculus. Thank you. Bye.